Abuja, let's talk about one sad story a trended over Ghana. It's about Yaw Asente Ejekum. He was wrongly accused, and I said he was wrongly sentenced to 35 years imprisonment. Abuja, after I said all spending 20 years in prison, and the appeal court Accra granting bill free no. Quentino say judgment ye demand and I say sentence ye demand say uncle cha 35 years in prison no na wrong sentence and ye demand because guilt na ye de born no there was no tangible reason na evidence be anywhere e kire say adekro no why abusua without wasting my time no jebre na me chekire wa asem
top hot asem na kiloto hey aye
no busia one more day subscribe to your YouTube channel FOK Studios on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram baby FOK Studios busia follow your send drop video bia na so yen bi subscribe to your YouTube channel no na me notification button no so busia send drop video bia na so when abusia and they talking about one sad story Yaw Asente Ejekum. Yaw Asente Ejekum in the year 2002 and he jailing for uncle them for 35 years in the year and he jailing is uncle them for 35 years. Abusia na ansa na okwa dem no na adwuma oye motor fitter na je se oye mechanic enti amanfo ba ho e de omoka aba na wahwe amoma.
I'm here for his case.
Sir?
I'm a journalist. I'm here for his case.
Don't just take video, start.
Okay, so let's do. First of all,
I feel happy. I didn't say.
you know Spanish.
Take off the mask. It's a happy day. We should see your face.
The motor fitter. The CS motor or and I'm performing CS motor of each. Mekase back no minimum na me boa. Me na here Joma man minimum the fee.
And only why no.
Ayi.
Ataa Yie.
Okay.
Minimum the fee.
Abusuenti Abranti Ejekum answer na in the year 2002 ye sentence no say uncle them for 32 years no na abusia adwuma oye ndi say oye mechanic na mechanic no oye na manfo bebre mechanic de nya wona obekira manfo mo meba ho embra ho embe repair o car no oye motor mechanic nti amanfo bebre eba no ho ebe repair o car na one person na debia ode the car eba and I said and the car ediba amane repair manu one man and your friend Ayi your friend Ataa Yie na Ataa Yie no oye the customer Ejekum kura nim ni fie but Ejekum chirema at that point no nim adwuma Ataa Yie ana onim se Ataa Yie Wrongful abusuan Ataa Yie so aye kana asemi notorious am robber chese Ghana had ya oba opia ni Ataa Yie enti Ataa Yie ana de bi ordin ne car ekọ ama Ejekum no abusuan fast forward one day Ejekum ese ne maame ho mfa no enti okoko akohwe no owokwa bebia ne maame no asori fie ana police for ba say ye hwehwe Ejekum wane Ejekum Asante Ejekum osemia mini police for ne se ya chew eden na maya omo se kronobo bi akoso ewo Accra ana se krono bi akoso nhwehwemu ayeye no wudi nka ho abusu Abranti Ejekum beka bia omo se omuntie Abranti Ejekum beka bia omo se omuntie bi ye man koda remand for 8 years
Me na djuma nyina.
But now you say friend Ataa Yie.
Sa na friend.
Okay.
Me nim adwuma oy. Oy taxi driver. Oh. And there be no one mammy, I am a corporate. No, I was all them never cheer me. See, I say, me normal papa boko. Me can be a man jump. Am I a cheer me auntie, sister, I bet you what more than 6 months. Near them call a man 8 years.
Abrante Jekum Koda remand for 8 good years. I wish after I said Okoda remand for 8 years, in the year 2010, and I sentencing for 35 years imprisonment.
Near them call a man 8 years. Try remand 8 months. 2010, the jail limit 30 years. So when you say me near tree, say I'm a shop, not more shop, or shop in the enough for phone
Shop now yet then.
Abusuamino can say the Court of Appeal a year Accra a granted say uncle fee. Ya sentence referee so uncle fee because otemwa for no and as a prosecutor na ordinary buy no evidence original so e ma judge no a sentence no for 35 years no now there was no evidence and yet basis no mujana so sentencing no na enye
me anu me shop
Never him.
e wo korok ana me wo bad boy back and I oba so na we nya like 1 month na chimko so they na me bonya me pai no be ehun say asem e dey to me so yini mu what I say and e dey attack me say me na conform here conform so me more no na ni medjuma na me what I say enti obi be ye adwuma ma won't be bisan say adwuma be na oye ansa na oye na adwuma ma me kan bibia e ma je Mr. Bafu bono no po ya de po man o ya de pa e ma me lawyer nyina se de business
Now,
e mras ya me pe ja nisa
and now Court of Appeal say Kofi na kwedo e de ba no na nche da eni say e de ba no o fele say.
o me feel up say o ma ye fe o ma hwehwe mo hu say ampa me ni mo hwe e cheche so usiesi mutu mo bia say en cheche de ko no beto so say yam de so ma hwe mo
na busua ansa na Abrante Ejekum yede ne kwa akotum na Abrante Ejekum no ewo babema ana afi owo baba ne ba oba no a newborn baby ana afi no wenya just 1 month ana yede asam true no so a sentencing so onkodem for 35 years abusua after say all spend 20 years in prison no oba abonte ne ba no enya 23 years abusua ne ba no so edi enigye ekasa
Your father told us that you were a year older or old when he was arrested. 1 month actually. How old are you now?
23.
How does it feel like?
I'm happy.
You're happy to see your father. When he comes home, what will be the first thing that you would do?
I'll cook for him.
What will you cook?
For food.
Before what?
Like this. But I'm very happy. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Anytime when I go there and visit him, I feel sad. I can't even eat well if I visit him. But today, it's a tears of joy. I'm very happy and I'm grateful.
All right. I wish you all the best.
What's your name? Jennifer.
So, those are some of the family members. And this is the daughter of Yaw Asente, a month old when the father was arrested. 23 years down the line, he's back. And she is so happy to see the father. And she makes that.
so baby say eba ne sen ena ne die ya ka che ne so onko fie ni nyina eba mu ana ne lawyer okushia no lawyer Bernard Shaw ono sa lawyer no ena ohia na oka na asem nyina kire no oka na asem nyina kire na lawyer ne ka se wo se wanye bibia se wo se wonim asem ne hu bibia dia meboa enti for the past 10 years no one lawyer no de biomu di asem nechi inde the appeal court ewo eye Accra ejina led by 3 justices omotina asem no so I say evidence na prosecutor ne de by against Yaw Asente Ejekum no enye evidence solid ayen rodo rather sem and na court no entumi nyina sa asem no so en convict no ama ni nkwashi ama Yaw Ajekum enkotwa 35 years no ewo enti attentia wrongful jail and edi jaili Yaw Ajekum. Abusia, now the question is, after say ye de obi akotum for 20 good years, ya sentencing for 35 years and we got 20 good years in prison. Abusia, ye bisa ne say compensation bi ho amanana lawyer savior sosu human rights lawyer achechirim ekwan obefa so ono so betumi enya compensation from the government because senior say uye bibi boni a aban no agi uska no saa so no ana aban no so eye bibi tiaw te say wrongfully wajajo ama akodem was spending the whole 20 years of in life our prison. Just imagine so oko prison no 22 years ebusia say on we did 42 years, so 23 years is here we did for 43 years, spending 20 years of your life in prison. No, you bisa say lawyer save, you bisa lawyer savior susu no ni GH14 and na the aiding komo ni bisa and say lawyer savior susu a den and na sa ni pay ya wakutwa 20 years in prison. No, a basic and when your compensation a den about to me aye no compensation and I can't pay compensation amount bank crown ubinya abusuan lawyer savior susu eswedi nchiremu ebai.
Well, honestly speaking, I think that compensation definitely is entitled to some compensation because I recall doing cases, for example, the Republic versus Ataa Ayi, in which I led Ataa Ayi at the Supreme Court for him to be acquitted and discharged, but that happened after 15 years of his life in hard labor. I'm having 17 years in prison with hard labor. And in that case, I recall that we have to go back to the Supreme Court for compensation. And in my view, the compensation at that time was inadequate. That was the reason why the 8th Parliament had begun a private bill for compensation for people who are wrongfully convicted. So in the case of this very case, definitely the accused person who is now a free man definitely is entitled to some compensation. I think that they may have to either use a process to certify to the court that acquitted him to the Supreme Court that he needs to be compensated so that the compensation will be determined for him. Alternatively, he has a right under the law, Article 33 of the Constitution, to apply to the Human Rights High Court for that compensation to be determined, as we did in the case of Francis Ejari matter. So the options are available for him to apply to the court for compensation, but definitely I believe that he is definitely entitled to a hefty compensation against the state. Because anytime the state wrongs an individual, the state should be ready and willing to pay that individual for the wrong done the individual. Just as we expect that when individuals go wrong against the state, we are willing and ready to prosecute them and let the state go after them. It is the same way the state must be responsive enough to respond to issues like this when people are wrongfully convicted and finally exonerated.
Yeah, Nabusia, in Chirimoa, lawyer savior so edibani so obetumi Supreme Court no file, and I know say the lawyer George Bernard send wetumi edi asem na chia ama Yaw Asente etumi enya nkunimdi wa asemi saa so na obetumi edi akiri ama compensation bia was a government no and as aban no edema Yaw Ajekum and I say Yaw Asente no Yaw Asente ebinya everywhere abusuya bibisa for adwen kyerebe your comment section na say asem we eye wo na to wa anka den na abeye sika dodo say na wo susu say after serving for 20 years imprisonment or living a life in 20 years of his life 2 decades our prison no wrongfully aseme enyo ade enyo no ye de ato no so no nim ho hwe ne ye de na ko prison no eden na o hwe a aban ne ye mana ebeye busia asem we beye ya papa